Yo, this one is just gonna be a check-in, just about where I'm at. I'm shooting it on Friday because I didn't get a chance to shoot it last night. It will be out today. You know, in this journey, personal development, growth, elevation, starting a brand, starting the podcast, and just scaling them both now, right? Um, it's just like a whole bunch of internal work, man. Like your business, your brand, whatever you're after, like you're gonna get to these levels and you're gonna think like, oh, if I just had a partner or a DM setter, or if I just had this person, that person, and that's the finesse, to get you confused, to get you, not believing in yourself. And that's the devil, right? The devil will use everything it can as an instrument to throw you off your path, right? And that's what I'm going to lead into next, right? Just understanding when things are being used as instruments rather than, making them big problems. Like, because it's not really the thing itself, right? It's all inside of us, right? Everything we need and everything we want is inside of us, and life comes from us, right? So, where I'm at is just, continuing to be still and patient enough to notice when I'm going through that next instrument test, right? The next thing the devil is trying to use to get me off, right? And being that I'm in my hometown again, like it's my Egypt, right? Like everything that took me out is here, one call away. Everything at the next level, everything at every level to get me thrown off is here. The dope is here, the women are here, right? The friends are here, the environments are here, right? And at every level, these things were something that I had to remove and, had to deal with or combat, because the devil would use them as instruments to throw me off. And where I'm at now, like I've conquered, almost all of them, the dope, the people, the environments, the friends, but it's like now there's like emotions inside of me from going through what I've been through that the devil is using to kind of throw me off. And this week, man, I got hella angry, bro. Hella angry, man. Like, I didn't do anything. I didn't break character, like, but like, man, it took me there for the first time in a long time. And I get very, very upset, I get like I'm always upset, because I have a very high level of structure and discipline. So I get very disrespected quick. I get upset easily, right? So I do all this stuff so I can't be mad at people. I can't react. I can't be upset, because when you operate at such a level of discipline, and majority of the people don't, you got to give passes, because like a lot of the things they do, they don't understand they're doing to you. You know what I mean? Because they don't operate at that level of discipline. The things that they do are just okay when you operate at a lower level of discipline and structure. And I understand, just because I'm this way, the rest of the world doesn't have to be this way. So that's why the personal development is important, because I don't ever want to break character and like come outside of myself and cause myself to be in a bad situation that I've already, gotten out of, bro. It takes 5 seconds to change your life, and I know that, and lately the devil has been using this anger to try to knock me off my path, or just to slow me down, right? Because I've given my life to God. I'm going to church. I'm in my Bible. Like I'm leaning, I'm seeking, and the devil knows like he lost me, because just like God can bless you, bro, the devil can bless you, bro. And I was one of his soldiers on the devil's side, bro. I'm talking, I could dress it up, make it look nice, and make it look like I'm not even on that side. But the whole time, that's who I'm taking orders from. That's who I'm listening to. That's who I'm rocking with, and he knows he lost me. And I'm just going to continue to seek God and continue to lean into that, right? And, constantly, combat, and pass these tests, right? Even when I do fall short, I know, You know, my God is a forgiving God. You know I come to him, I go to him, repent, ask for forgiveness, and it's a brand new day. As long as I truly am intentional with my repentance and my forgiveness, right? I don't gotta be perfect anymore. I don't gotta, try to do it all myself anymore. He's gonna do it for me. And yeah, so never think it's anything outside of you that's gonna make whatever you're trying to do better. Whether it's you yourself, something you're trying to create outside of yourself, the work is always internal, right? Once you fix the internal disconnections, the internal things that aren't aligned, then it'll start to manifest the way it's supposed to, right? And like where I'm at today, like I got to remove everything, man, and it's a process, bro. It's a literal process, and I just had to be honest with myself because I'm watching people, online do what I do, and it's like there's no one in doing it like this, bro. There's no one that like most people are older than me and they fucking ruined their shit in their 20s and 30s. And so like what they're doing online is like their last straw to figure it out and get it right, and more power to them. But I can't look up to them and expect them to like be the ones to guide me, bro, because I I I did what they didn't do in their 20s, right? What they gave up on in their 20s, I got to do it. What they gave up on in their 30s, I got to do it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just the truth, and I'm not one of these young kids who grew up, playing football but having social media at the same time, having to give up football for social media. No, I got to do the football. I finished it, the whole thing. Now I'm doing the social media, and I also got the 9 to 5, that you're supposed to have in your 30s, like you want to have in your 30s, like you said you wanted to get when you left college, right? And I'm doing the social media, and I started a podcast, right? So it's like I got a lot of things going on, and I just have to be patient and let God build it the way he wants to build it, because I'm trying to, in my head, it's supposed to look like that, it's supposed to look like this, how we're essentially doing the same thing, right? But again, like, it comes down to more inner work, right? There's more things that need to be adjusted, fixed, handled, while God is, pruning me, working on me, building me, you know what I mean? But just know, like, it's an internal battle. It's an internal lesson that you're missing to get whatever you want outside of yourself to go the way you want it. It's something internal first, right? Because life comes from us, right? It's always happening for us. It's never happening to us, and things are always unfolding in your favor, because whatever you fully possess inside is exactly what your external reality is going to look like. And the sooner you get to understand that and believe it, the sooner you have control over this reality, the sooner you have control over this life. And that's what it's all about. It's about having control. It's about having peace. It's about having clarity, brother. And because you don't want to wake up and be confused and have hella thoughts in your mind that you don't know why or what to do with them, right? You want to have a streamlined, optimal, type of thought pattern, thought process, right? Everything should be going in the same direction, headed towards the same goal. You feel me? Things will come because that's just what thoughts do, but you the system you create with God at the center, right? Like, keeps us aligned, keeps us focused, keeps us always in the solution, bro. So never think the answer's outside of you. The answer is always inside, bro. And get close to God, bro. I invite you guys who watch my stuff, bro, to get close to God. You're talking to a dude who grew up in the church, who knew at 11 the pastor was lying, so my mom allowed me to stop going to church, right? Gave my life to the world, bro. I'm talking completely immersed myself in the world. Drugs, alcohol, hustling, gambling, robbing, stealing, gangbanging, football, everything the world had, I've experienced at the highest levels, like traveling, money, you know what I mean? I've experienced it at the highest levels, and none of it has brought me peace, clarity, or focus the way God has, bro. There's power in the Bible, bro. There's a reason why that book had made it to 2016, bro, and it's been, passed down generation after generation with no real alteration, bro. There's a reason why the book is still here. And even if you don't want to become a Christian or become a religious person, I invite you to just read it, to understand, and just to have the knowledge, right? Because there's power in that book. There's power in God, right? His way is the true way. He is the truth, the way, and the light. You know what I mean? The Alpha and the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, brother. And that is the only way I've been able to have this peace, have this clarity, have this focus, right? Despite going through the anger, despite still going through things in my life, God has been the only thing that has allowed me to stay focused and to stay aligned and to stay, headed in the same direction, bro. But besides that little, and just saying it out loud, bro, that little anger outburst that I had a couple days ago, like, it was just me and myself. I had it within myself, with myself. I didn't, it didn't manifest on anyone, like no one experienced it. A situation even happened after it, and I was able to even reach out to a supporter, talk to them, yell about it with them instead of yelling at the person, you know what I mean? And that's all growth, bro. And where my life is today, bro, if that's like my only problem and I handled it the right way, bro, that's a blessing, bro, because just a couple months ago, bro, I wouldn't have handled it that way, so that's a blessing, and because it could be way worse. I'm blessed right now. I'm getting ready to move next week. I haven't packed shit because it's so small in here. I don't want to start getting it all cluttered because I have so much stuff I got to do all the way up until packing, so if it gets cluttered in here, I can't think, I can't, function. My lady's getting ready to go to Bali. She's amazing. My lady's amazing, bro. Like, my lady is amazing. She's blessed. She's so blessed. She's a legend. I love her. She's about to go to Bali with her best friend. Like, bro, like, and again, bro, the world, like, you guys probably, bro, you're gonna let your lady go to Bali? Bro, I'm just as surprised, but like, for the first time in my entire life, bro, there's nothing inside of my heart that makes me feel, or I have no doubt about the love my lady has for me, bro. I have no doubt about her loyalty, you know what I mean? I've never felt like that about a woman. She's bad as hell too, so I know niggas are gonna try to get at her. I know, like, that's a given, bro. If your lady's beautiful and she's really bad, like, they're gonna try to get her. She's like bad too. Like, she's not even from America. She's from Mexico, you know what I'm saying? And like, she has like this real, like, she already looks foreign. She's light skinned, she has like a real innocent like look. She doesn't look like a baddie, you know what I mean? She has an innocent look, and any real man knows, like, that's the look we're after, right? So yeah, we're blessed. The homie's calling me from jail. And yeah, that's just a little bit of what I gotta deal with, man. I'm not gonna call him back. He'll call back. But yeah, my lady's getting ready to go to Bali on Sunday, so the podcast I was gonna do this weekend got to cancel because gotta sacrifice for the queen, man. I'm getting ready to move next week. I got surgery in October. I just need to get this move done, man. I need to get this room stuff situated. I gotta buy the room set up. I gotta buy a desk, gotta buy a TV, all this good stuff. So we're gonna take care of all that this weekend and get it out of the way. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. This will be out later today. And thank you for all the support, man. We're gonna keep it running. We're gonna keep it going. Godspeed, brother. And also, don't be in a rush to do anything, especially when it comes to like content, You don't want to grow too fast. And if you're not a quitter and you're in it for the long haul, the slower the better. Because it's just more data, it's just more proof, it's just more content for the story, Whoever gets it later usually gets more of it, so never be in a rush, brother. And that's just like a rule of life. Like, I've been after the same things as people, my entire life. That's just how life works. We all want the same things, right? Not all of us, but like, once you figure out what you want, there's gonna be a group of niggas that want that same shit, you know what I mean? And I've always been the guy that gets it later, but I've always get more of it and I always have it longer, So, like, when I went back to college, to JUCO 2016, I'm the only one who made it pro. No one else played as long as I did. No one else made it pro. They might have went to like bigger, better schools, but they all quit before the end. None of them graduated. I think one person graduated. But yeah, so I'm just run your system, bro. Live your life, man, and have your data, pass your levels, beat your levels, play your game, man. And what works, works, bro. You have the data on your life. It's going to keep going that way, bro. And if you want it to change, change.